Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 18 grade 9 mathematics. This is the last video on factorizing. So in this video I am going to introduce you to factorizing by grouping. So as you can see, C, D, E and F, you have four terms, so you factorize this by grouping. All right, but for A, B, C, you only have two terms in each expression, so you must factorize identifying out the highest common factor. All right, although you also use the highest common factor here, the method is called factorizing by grouping. So I'm only going to show you the answer for part B, so please do part A and C in your free time. Take a picture and share with me. All right, so we have 15x. We want to factorize 15x minus 25x cubed. So what do? Remember, we must figure out the highest common factor of the two numbers first before you go to the letters. So the highest common factor of 15 and 25, we find that by listing all the factors of 15, which are 1, 5, and 15 itself. So I think I forgot one factor there. So it's 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, and 15. Sorry for that. 25 has the following factors: 1, 5, and 25. So what does it mean? It means that 5 is the highest common factor of the two numbers. Okay, so our highest common factor will be made up of 5. So far we know that it's going to be made up of 5. What about the letters? So we have x and we have x cubed. Remember that x cubed can be written as x times x times x. So meaning that this x is the same as this one. So therefore, the highest common factor of x and x cubed is simply x. So the highest common factor of 15x minus 25x cubed is 5x. So now we should divide every term by the highest common factor. So 15x divided by 5x minus 25x cubed divided by 5x. So we should now simplify. So we write 5x, we open up the bracket. 5 goes in itself once, 5 goes into 15 3 times, so 3 divided by 1 is just 3. So the x will cancel each other, so there will be no x here. Minus 5 goes in itself once, 5 goes here 5 times, 5 divided by 1 is 5. All right, and then now we have x cubed divided by x. What is x cubed divided by fx? Sorry for that. Let me show you a nice method of figuring that out. Remember that x cubed is x times x times x. So we have x times x times x divided by x. So we have x cubed divided by x. So these two will cancel out, and then you just end up with x squared. So this is just x squared, then you close the bracket. So remember, if you remove the bracket, 5x times 3 will give you 15x. 5x times 5x squared will give you 25x cubed. So that's how you factorize something like this. All right, now my friends, let us go to, I'm going to show you part D and F, and you should now do E in your free time. Share with me your answers on WhatsApp. Okay? So factorizing by grouping, you need to make sure that the first two terms have a common factor, or the highest common factor. What am I talking about? Let's start with D. I forgot to wipe this off. So D, we're factorizing m times y plus a times y plus m times x plus a times x. So you are factorizing by grouping. So the first two terms have a common factor, which is y. The last two terms have a common factor, which is x. So if you remove out y, if you divide this by y, you get m, plus if you divide this term by y, you get a. Okay? Remember, y times m is my, y times a is ay. So we have done the right thing here. Then we say plus. What is a common factor here? The common factor is none other than x. So x, open the bracket, this term divided by x, we just get m. This term divided by x, we just get na. Now, as you can see that this is now your new highest common factor, or the new factor, because we have two terms. This is one term, this is another term, and they all have that common factor. So if we factorize that common factor out, we put it in the brackets, and whatever is outside, which is this and that, can now be combined in one bracket, and we are done. How do I know that I'm right? By removing the brackets. You should know how to remove the brackets now. M times y is my. M times x is mx, which is here. And then once we multiply this with everything here, we move to the next one. A times y is ay. A times x is ax. So we have done everything right. Okay? All right. So I'll do part F. Please do part E and come to me via WhatsApp so I can see if your work is right or you need to do some correction. All right. Part F it is. So you have to be very careful when your expression has negative sign in it. You have to be very extra careful, because if you don't take care of the sign, that sign is going to take care of you. Plus 5x minus 3x minus 15. Again, the first two terms, they have a common factor. The last two terms, they also have a common factor. What is a common factor here? Is it x2 or x1? It will be x1. In fact, when you're factorizing exponents, you always go for the smallest exponent. Okay, that's why here I went for x1, because I cannot go for x3. You should always go for the smallest, the variable with the smallest exponent. So the highest common factor is x. I think I'm running out of markers. X. If you divide this by x, you get an x. Plus, if you divide this term by x, you just get a 5. Now, here, all the terms are negative. So then it means your common factor must also be negative. All right? So, 3 and 15, all the factors of 3. 3 has only two factors, 1 in itself. 15 has the following factors, 1, 3, 5, and 15. So 3 is the highest common factor, but it has to be negative because they are all negative. Open the bracket. So now here, I need to make these extra notes for you. You are dividing this by the highest common factor. You are dividing a negative number by a negative number. So your answer will be positive because these will cancel out. So you write an x here. And then the last one, negative 15 divided by negative 3, dividing a negative number by a negative number, your answer will be positive. 3 goes into 15 5 times. My dear friends, when you are factorizing by grouping, you find out that this bracket will have the same term as this one. If they don't have the same terms, then it means we have done something wrong, especially with the sign. And when I say the same information, I'm also referring to the signs. So there's no way this is positive and this is negative. Negative. They should have the same information. Okay? So now x plus 5 is a common factor. We can factor that out. And then remember, whatever is outside the bracket we can now combine that in one bracket, and then we are done factorizing. How do I know that I'm right? You can just remove the brackets and see. Let's see if you're right. What is x times x? That is x squared. What is x times negative 3? Is negative 3x. So once I'm done multiplying this with all that, I should now move to this one with all that, with everything there. 5 times x is positive 5x, and 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So don't worry about the order. So minus 3x plus 5x is the same thing as plus 5x minus 3x. Exactly the same thing. So my dear friends, I want you to try part A, part C, part E, and please share with me your answers on WhatsApp. Okay, so I can tell you whether your answers are right or you need to do some correction. Thank you for watching, and see you in video number 19. We are going to talk about how to solve linear equations. Bye bye.